Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on our YouTube account. Just going to chill with a little bit of a live stream. Wanted to get into the Heroes of Espria. Overall, a big PvP event, but there is a ton of loot. So thank you guys for joining me for live stream again. Very last minute here. Wanted to hop in though. Wanted to knock out a couple of my dailies. Haven't hopped on since the reset. Now we also know that with Dolly's Corner. So Dolly's Corner is up right now. We know there is going to be a hero. So again, a lot of questions have really become of this with the new heroes and what is going on. Tank is here. So with that being a question, is we know from the AFK Arena Facebook ad that there is actually dancers that are coming. That's what kind of Dolly has alluded to. We've seen it through an ad that they had. Now, of course, if you hop over and you look at what Dolly has, Dolly actually shows the silhouette of the dancers themselves, not within the video, but then a lot of players are also wondering what's going on. Soul is here and Brian as well. But like I was saying, is it going to be one hero that is going to be kind of like a conjoined hero or a together hero like we've seen with the twins? Is it going to be both of the heroes that are the dancers together that are going to be into one hero essentially? Or is it going to be two independent heroes like we've seen with Rem and Amelia and also with, Ainz and Albedo? Are they going to be two heroes? That is yet to be seen. What is going on? Apex and Primo is here as well. Thank you guys for joining me. Again, just kind of a late last minute stream. Want to hop in here. We got some more Twisted Roses out of here with the Grotesque Mage. And then, of course, the Heroes of Espria event is underway. Now, this differs quite a bit than it is from the regular that we see within the Treasure Scramble. So remember, if you're looking at the Treasure Scramble itself, the Treasure Scramble comes with this debuff. Now, because of the Treasure Scramble and the debuff, this really makes it a game changer depending on the formation of what heroes you're going to use. So for a majority of the PvP aspect, the best way to really look at this would be, in my opinion, is kind of the LC tournament. You can see Blossoms in here, a couple other heroes with Kilby Ross that we kind of follow. But looking at the formations in here, this is more tried and true to PvP. Now we know with the Heroes of Espria that we do have the ability, or there is a brutal buff in there, which again is going to be interesting to see exactly how the formations do alter and change just based on the Heroes of Espria and the brutal buff that we're getting in there. I'm too lazy to be creative for someone. I just post 5 teams. There you go. So not going to be creative. But again, when you look at the loot in here, guys, when you're looking at your Stargazer scrolls, when you're looking at the amount of summons that you can pull, as well as those tier 4 stones, and also all of the resources and all of the stuff that you get along the way is really big when you're getting the Heroes of Espria chest. Similar to what we see with the Temporal Rift, really does make a big difference. My only awakened hero built is Brutus at 4060. I need Ascended Taylene to take her to Mythic. I have plenty more Ascended heroes free to play. Yeah, it takes time. And that's the big thing, Machuko, is it takes time. Even looking at, where I am at with the account, when I look at my free-to-play account, it takes an incredible amount of time to make progression in AFK Arena, honestly. And that's really it. So we got 2 full summons right there. We got some more chests. So, of course, we're going to pick up some essence out of here. As much as I like kind of going back with these chests, I would really recommend picking up the Twisted Essence just for the simple fact the Primordial and the Amplifying Emblems, we can get those with gold. Also, the Elemental Shards, we can get them with gold as well. So definitely going in here and picking exactly what you need. Now, remember, Heroes of Espria, you want to go in here at least minimum finishing out your daily quest. Daily quests, just like we've seen with the Battle of Blood, what we've seen with a lot of other events, is these are going to roll up into your season rewards. Season rewards are, of course, going to yield you additional rewards that you do want to get out of here. What's going on? Pixel Foxy is here. Black Moment is here as well. If I bought one thing, am I still free to play? Honestly, it doesn't. To me, and I know free to play, hardcore free to play, a lot of players are saying, yes, if you buy one item for 99 cents, you're not free to play. Honestly, you're not pay to win either. Even looking at my account, I mean a very small whale account where we just put a little bit in there, pretty limited. But again, a lot of players did buy the 99-cent pack once upon a time because they did a really big thing where there was really a push between there. So show me your teams. How is Lucius looking? So the big thing right now, Tank, is the Awakened version of Lucius is having a very strong showing, When you look at game modes outside of the campaign and really the tower progression for light bearers, of course, because they are pretty limited, you can still get some pretty good pulls in there. But overall, Lucius is looking really good. And what I mean by that is most of the places that you're seeing a lot of different heroes, when you look at the Cursed Realm, when you look at the Nightmare Corridor, when you look at the Treasure Scramble, when you look at not having that level deficiency, the Awakened version of Lucius is working incredibly well. Now in here, I believe we're at the point where, again, I don't even know what we used back here. We have the Awakened version of Belinda. Even here, I think a lot of heroes like Liberta and Lucilla, we might not even have had at this point, which is kind of crazy. Oh, what is going on? And is Dennis as well? Been watching you from Hong Kong since you started the pay to win. That is awesome. Yes, I would love to get the Valkyrie all the way up to the 1-star. We might have to do some purchases in here. Big shout out for the super chat. That is awesome. Jaffa is here as well. Yeah, so looking at the teams, like I said, the good way to do this, and this is kind of a good way to really do this. And again, even if you're not competitive in this game mode, you're going to find out very fast. Even again, if you're looking at these teams, if you're not super competitive within the game mode, it is still incredibly easy. And a majority of players, even on my account, I can hit the Masters. Even on the free-to-play account, I can hit the Masters. It's not super difficult when it comes to PvP-wise. How exactly it's working. Now, one thing to remember is I kind of want to break these down a little bit, is when you look here, the Awakened version of Lucius is being run with Valkyrie right here, and also being run with Aethys right here, or Althus. Althus is a really, really strong hero that can actually buff the damage that the Awakened version of Lucius is doing, making him a really important hero. Now, we can also see that when it comes to like our Treasure Scramble teams. And again, I'm not super big into PvP. I really have never been huge into PvP. But overall, when you're starting to look at some of these teams and breaking down really the build and how they operate, we'll hop in our leaderboards and I'll show you kind of what I mean by that is when you go looking through, and again, we're looking at Blossom's formations. The formations are going to change just based on the buffs. But when you start getting into the teams, and I'm not even sure if she's running Lucius in here. I thought there was actually one in here a little bit. Let's look at Goku or G Goku and see if he was running them. I know there were a few heroes that, or a few players that were running the Awakened version of Lucius, which I'm not even seeing. I mean, top 2 players right here, not even running the Awakened version of Lucius. Even looking on this side, I do not see him there either. That's pretty interesting. I'm not sure if it's just because the formations haven't been updated, but overall, that's where we've actually seen him quite a bit, is run within here. I know some of my earlier teams were running with him. But again, when you look at heroes within here, looking for synergy, and that's really the big thing. Honesta alt break shields, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe she does, but a lot of heroes, and the problem that we see, Pixel, is she's not doing enough damage within a couple different places to do enough damage. So the shield break might be in there, which I believe also Lady Simona also does the same thing with removing of the shields. But overall, not really doing a lot of damage in there. Awaken Lucius is great in Espria if you can reach his ult. And yeah, and that's it. So the shield break teams, and that's where a lot of players, especially if you're running Rem, because of Rem, you're going to have the amplification factor in there of building out the hero, but having that signature item when it comes. And I don't think it'll let me view the heroes in this mode, but we're going to have to check it out. And like I said, we'll look with the big super chat there. We'll pick up some copies of Valkyrie. We'll try to finish her out. Definitely want to see that we are finishing that out. Would I say Althus is worth it? Yes. Honestly, when we're looking at heroes in their entirety, specifically looking in the tanking class, Althus has everything that we're looking for. Again, when you look at a lot of heroes, when you look at right here, we have Vithio with a buffer. We have a buffer. We have crowd control, kind of a buffer. Lucius, again, survivability-wise. When you look at Aethys, Aethys, So overall, there are really two big things when it comes to tanking in AFK Arena. Number one, can they take a hit as a tank, as a protection, which we're seeing with the Awakened version of Lucius, is he is literally just getting run over when you start getting level deficiencies. And we've seen that very early, and we've seen it pretty predominant. Again, damage-wise, in some other places, he's working incredibly well, but overall, he doesn't have the survivability. Now, of course, with Aethys as well, the big thing to remember is the signature item on here is because of this beast cage, normal attacks dealt by Aethys and his allied heroes is increased by 90%. With that 90%, you have a hero in the same formation like the Awakened version of Lucius that is doing 90% more damage with their regular attacks. Now, of course, he also has the ability to amplify all of his abilities. Attack rating goes up by defense. Crit goes up by crit block rating. 100% is the crit resistance. So the bigger you're building him out as a tank, the bigger you're building him out as a damage monster. And as a result, looking at a lot of different game modes, you'll actually see him pulling a lot of damage. And we've also noticed that he seems to be replacing, when it comes to, unfortunately, Baden. In the formations, we're starting to see the Awakened version of Lucius showing up in a couple formations, and I think it might come to a point where he replaces the Awakened version of Baden in some of the formation. I'm not sure if he's being used. And of course, with all of these different bosses, different iterations that we're seeing that are being built. So let's see. Who do we got? So we got Squadron right here, and this is where they're running Lucius. So looking in here, and again, you can see the combination. Let's slow this down. We are running Aethys with Lucius. That is huge. Now, you couple that also right here with Lucilla. Lucilla is another hero that if you're building out the plus 40 signature item, normal attacks in there are going to do a lot of damage. Now, remember, this was the combination, or this was the run that we are running with the Awakened version of Baden. It seems like Lucius might be relieving or taking him out of this formation. But also remember, this was the one that we were actually running with Kren once upon a time. So this one has kind of evolved a couple different times just based on the builds that we see within here. Is he worth building? Absolutely. He is a monster when it comes to the Wilder tower. Aethys is an absolute monster. What's going on, Sophie? I only have Ascended, Solus, and Belinda at Ascended. Still worth building. Lucius, it's still a little bit earlier. Did they fix Awakened Athalia 40? No. So that, Amir, so they have not fixed that as I know right now. So the big thing with the Awakened version of Athalia, we did build her out to a 40. It's kind of a double-edged sword with having the hero there, Amir, because there are a lot of situations where this number of slashes is increased by 2, and as you can see, the number of slashes is increased by 2. It no longer says cleave. Everybody was confused as all get out when it said cleave, so they did just fix, again, the translation issue right here. But there are a lot of situations, Amir, where she is doing a lot more damage, and there's a lot of situations where she's not doing as much damage. It depends what heroes that she is paired with. That's one of the big things is it depends who she's paired with, because what's happening is these 2 extra slashes that we're seeing right here are taking or messing up the rotation of the abilities that we're seeing, which again, some situations it's doing a lot more damage, some it is doing a lot less, depending on how they're built, depending on exactly how you're building them out and how they're holding the collections. If they have a lot of haste that is being given within the combination, it really makes a big difference. What's going on, Joffrey? PvP is difficult unless you're pay to win. Yes, 100%. So Pixel Foxy, any single game that I have ever played, literally going back to way back, any game that is really involved with a lot of different players have had PvP. And PvP, even going back World of Warcraft time, even looking at Ultima Online, Dark Age of Camelot, PvP has always been the whale territory for literally everything. It has always been the very good one. I've heard the dimensional heroes are from Jujutsu Kaisen. Is it true? I do not know. That's a really good question. Maybe some of you guys know, and I can show them. I can show you exactly what we're kind of talking about. And Moneymaker is here as well. My Awakened hero is Namisu. I hope it is Namisu. We've talked about that a couple times, exactly who we want to be in there. Now, of course, looking at who is coming. Now, this, of course, is confirmed from Dolly's Corner. I can slide this one. I know we pulled this over a little bit before, but this is the actual heroes, and I'll drop them right in the middle. That are going to be coming to AFK Arena. Again, looking at what Dolly showed us with the outline. So again, a lot of players, could be a crossover, which a lot of players are saying. Jujutsu Kaisen, that could be the crossover that we're seeing in there. Where they're coming from, I don't know exactly. But overall, a lot of players are saying, is it going to be one hero that we're getting that is going to have both of them similar to the twins? Or is it going to be two heroes that are kind of built together? That's kind of yet to be seen. I really don't know. What's going on, Uno? That Demiya Ezio team is still SSS tier in the event. Yeah, Demiya and Ezio are as very, very strong because, of course, with the combination of those two heroes, I'm going to see probably about resetting this, but the combination of those two heroes makes it near impossible to kill them. But let's go in here. Let's do some runs. And I know just based on where my level is, 325 to 262, even if I change nothing in here, but even looking where we were once upon a time looking at the Heroes of Espria, because even like this combination is not really used anymore. Most of the time in here, you're going to see Lavatoon. I don't even think that Lavatoon was out the last time that we did this within the Heroes of Espria. I don't know if, I think Rem and Amelia were the really two big ones. I don't even think that Liberta, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Liberta and Lucila were here as well, just thinking about the PvP aspect of the last time we actually ran and did the Heroes of Espria. And then, of course, this one was huge. Now, what team should we put in here? I know Trisha does a lot more PvP than I do. Yeah, absolutely. Who would we put in here? What are the teams that we're running in here? Now, again, I know we said Demiya Ezio team is SS tier. We could drop out Joan. And again, I don't even know if we had Demiya. I'm trying to think how long ago it was that we actually ran this event. But looking at the teams right here, I love the Athalia with Rem and Amelia because, of course, we have the protection rate there of Albedo. And then this one is still super strong. The energy regeneration. We could even put, and again, I don't think we had Jerome in here. Again, really knowing them. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Apex. I think it's going to be two separate heroes. I don't know if they're going to keep them, if they're going to do that. And look at this. Literally, guys, I know it's a big level deficiency, but it's kind of crazy when Athalia doesn't even get to go into the battlefield. And be careful farming this. Now, the reason why I say it's kind of a double-edged sword, if you're going in here and you're farming the Heroes of Espria early, what's going to happen is you're going to get to the point where you're going to push it as much as you can, and then a lot of whales that are looking to advance could see the exact same. And again, it's sad where they start us at. I don't know why they start us this far back, just to kind of farm players that are kind of in here. And of course, the second one is going to be our Awakened Athalia team, which, boom, probably going to freeze, maybe. And Athalia is so strong, guys. The Awakened version of Athalia is super, super strong in there. Just got my first Descended Awakened Chimera to 1-star. Who should you go for next? J1, I would probably look at building, if you got the Awakened version of Chimera, I would probably go with Athalia. I do love Athalia. Again, when you look at the ability, when you look at the strength that they do have. So here's a good team. Now, this is a player that obviously coming in here, very, very well built. We have Chimera right there. This could be one that we could actually come in here and lose. And there's Lucius, of course, and again, running the combination. Let's go ahead and see how our old school teams kind of build up on this and see how it's going. Yeah, I would look at Athalia. I do like the Awakened version of Athalia. Now, of course, this one thing to remember, and very interesting, within a lot of combinations. So one of the things why players are building out Valkyrie, especially for the PvP aspect, is the Awakened version of Chimera. So she is a direct counter to the Awakened version of Chimera, and we're probably going to lose this one. And I love the new pet right here, and I know Trisha feels the same. I love the new beast that we have with the Ice Crown. So again, these teams were pretty well set coming in here. I figured around the level deficiency, we'd probably get killed, which we did, of course, power creep with a lot of these heroes. So this is going to be our defeat right there. Still get our resources, but I'm okay with it. And I'm not sure defeat. So we got 2 defeats. And this is what I'm talking about. When you look at a lot of the larger players that are actually looking to go in here and make progression, we're probably going to have to change up this formation just so we don't get too farmed down just based on the heroes that we have. Because even here, last time we did this, we had right here with the build of Matria. We had the Matria. I hope that the next hero is not a dim. I think it is going to be, and they're talking about a double dimensional, which is going to be kind of crazy. Explain to me how you can get a level 2 artifact in the Ghoulish Gallery. Miracle Worker, +1, 8 slots. So the only way to get one, who is the absolute worst hero to build? There's a couple that aren't used, but let me show you the Ghoulish Gallery really quick. The only way to guarantee, and that's exactly what you said, how can we get a level 2 guaranteed in here? It is going to be a combination of Miracle Worker. You are going to have to use the level 1 totem, which is right here. Now, what I recommend is if you're going and you're putting this one in, the third one you're going to use is this level. So that is going to be the 3 that you're going to use. So this one, I think I actually might have some in here. Nope, we don't have any as of right now. But you're going to use the level, and then you can use this level 1 as well. Now, the only way to guarantee it is using this card. This is going to give you a custom skill scroll, which means when you're going in here, that is the only way to guarantee, because you will get 1 freebie with the level. So actually getting 1 freebie right here. Second slot will be there from Miracle Worker. And then if you get one with this purple one, great. If you don't, use the card in your back pocket to actually get the +2 within the Ghoulish Gallery. That is the only way to guarantee you that you get it, period. That's it. That is the only way that you can get it. Yeah. Knowing them 2 separate heroes. Yeah, that's what we're thinking. We need a dim tower. 100% sure. Are collections used in this game mode? Of course. Collections are used everywhere, guys. When you look across at all the different game modes everywhere, it is going to be very, very collection heavy. And even here, this is the team that we just lost to. It is going to be very, very collection heavy, which again, I don't even think I had many at all. Maybe that's already one that's on there. So again, that's probably how we kind of lost this one. But we can go in here, we can look at the team. And I want to see, I just want to copy, I'm going to copy the quick team. Let me bring up our little snipe right here, or snip. I'm going to copy the team and see exactly what it looks like when it goes team for team, just based on the build. Now, of course, this doesn't show the pets, but here we have, I'm wondering, let me see, because here's Shamira. So who do we have? There's our seal, which of course works incredibly well. There's our ice crown, and then we do have the panda. So of course, it is the 3 brand new heroes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mirror this and see what it looks like. Now, I love the Shamira right there. Of course, that's a massive, massive PvP build. Got the 40. Also, Liberta has the exact same. And it's fun to try this because you can actually change it up. So they make heroes specifically in AFK Arena that counter other heroes. And that's kind of the way it is with the shield build. That's how it is with a lot of different builds in AFK Arena. Even when you look at the shield break, or when you look at the insta kill, stuff like that, they kind of built AFK Arena around that and kind of built it like that. That way it kind of counters. So I want to see just team for team exactly what we're going to get. So this one we're going to put in our chubby slumbering seal right there. How do we get that perk card? It is using your legendary totems. That is it. It is using all of those legendary totems. What collection for Awakened Athalia? It is the Source collection. That is the one you want to use. And I'm sure looking in here, we're going to have to break out a couple of these collections. But yeah, the Source collection you want to use. Now, again, when you look at here, big picture, when you look at collections, these one will work incredibly well looking at the PvP, or excuse me, when you look at the campaign. When you start getting into PvP, you're going to be immune to fatal damage. This is the PvP one that we're looking for. Again, just kind of based on the build, there's a few that are going to be very centric and very focused on that PvP aspect. And there's a few that are not going to be as focused as what we have with some of the other collections and some of the other abilities in there. So there we go. So we have a pretty good setup team right there. And we'll go through and we'll do this. I barely played the last 2 months and completely forgot about how the Ghoulish Gallery. So most people Uno hate the Ghoulish Gallery. That is really, really tough, but very truthful. Yeah, I know that's my thought as well. I wish they would just let us copy the other game modes. I think there might be a point that they will. Don't know how far off it might be, but there could be a point that we just let them or just kind of build and let the copies of the game mode. But let's go in here. And again, looking at Lava Tune. Now, of course, when it comes to PvP, heroes like Gavis are huge. They are absolutely massive, massive heroes that we see within AFK Arena. And that's honestly what they're built for, is PvP. We don't see them used in a ton of other places. But again, when it comes to utility, when it comes to kind of the build with some of these heroes, it works incredibly well in one or two game modes specifically, and then kind of based on the build. Now, of course, Zolrath, we want to do this to go in or come in late. Based on that one, I'm not using Trichia. Again, this is my double skill level right here. So we'll actually go in here with a little bit of a charm factor. And then this one, I'm going to do potions. We're going to bring potions in here. Yeah, again, PvP, I'm not a huge fan of, but the rewards in here are pretty legit. When it comes to actually being able to get a ton of rewards out of this game mode, it's great. It really does give you an incredible amount of rewards out of here. And we're going to do the same. I'm going to do the Leica in here, and I'm just literally copying this formation. This could be one we kind of set it and forget it. And of course, Panda, we have all three new beasts within this formation, which again is pretty interesting. But we can pop up with a level 1 right here. And then, of course, kind of lock that down in here. We're going to leave Lycas on there. We have a 7 right there. Even looking at Crescio, we have a double right here. So being able to do a lot of damage in the formations. And let's see if this does make a difference. It might not at all. With the same Celestial unit with the Tombstone PvP unit. Oh, yeah, I know. What Awaken should I go for next? I have Brutus and Chimera done at the moment. I like Athalia. Yo boy, that's really the one. I do like Athalia. That is probably one of my absolute go-to heroes, is the Awakened version of Athalia. I love how she works. I love the build that we see within the hero. It works incredibly well. Have you ever thought of doing a formation builder streaming for suggested players with their optimal build out? So I can Apex, but it's kind of hard because I can't see exactly what they got. So the easiest way that we've done this is going over on Discord and actually just kind of building it out that way. That way over on Discord. And again, a lot of input from a lot of different players. But on Discord, we can actually see what you have to kind of build out based on what you have. And of course, both those we won. Third one we might have won as well, but we did get a chest right there. But of course, guys, we got that massive super chat a little bit earlier. They want to see Valkyrie up to 1 star, so I am going to take Valkyrie up. I believe right now we need, 2 more copies. We need 2 copies of Valkyrie, so we're going to have to pick up some cards in here because we don't have any diamonds. I don't even think we have any cards at all. So I'm going to have to see where we can pick up some of these cards to build up Valkyrie. So let's scoop up some of those. And I'm thinking diamond-wise, I don't think... See, we have 60 cards there, but I don't want all the time emblems. I'm going to see if we can get something that has some Stargazer scrolls out of here. And I'm thinking it's probably going to end up being this bundle, which we have right here. So 30 cards in that bundle. I'm trying to think wherever. Let me know, Trisha. Where should we pick up these Stargazer cards? Definitely let me know. I'm there on Discord. I could always help. Yeah, and that's it. There's a lot of players over on Discord that do exactly that. Makes a really, really big difference because, again, we can see what you have. Now, I'm thinking in here, I think we also have some in here. Yeah, so we have 30 there. But again, you have to really look at what you have available and what you, the advanced ship. I thought of the advanced ship, but looking here, and again, we get 10 of these chests, which is just going to give us some resources. 30 cards, 1,600. Now, looking at the ship here, we're getting what? 30 cards, 25. So we have 25 of these, getting the same amount of diamonds. But this could give us a lot more with these wishing tokens versus just getting us a few chests. Which again, you really have to weigh the pros and cons that we do have in here. It seems like my 30 for 25 here, and then looking here, 30 for 25. But with those 25, we could actually do a couple summons. possibly getting some of these much larger prizes out of here, and could also yield us additional cards versus getting those Brian. That's why I said makes a big difference on looking exactly what you can kind of pick up in here. We could also possibly get one of these, which would be awesome, because as you can see, they added those emblem choice chests in there as well. And then of course down here, we do have some pretty solid chests. Overall, it's probably worth getting it out of here versus getting it out of the advanced ship. Again, just because resource for resource, it's going to make it good on the wishing ship to get it. So I'm going to pick up one of these, and I believe we still do have a card. We still do have a little. So I'm hoping the 30 plus a couple more diamonds in there, we might be able to pull a copy, maybe even get really lucky with a second copy in there. We can also, of course, use our notes, but we did get the 30 cards out of there. If not, we do have a 50 option card, but now we have 30, so we can actually do 3 pulls in here. There we go. That was awesome for 10 time emblems. Now we know right there is what, 5,000 diamonds out of there. Got some common scrolls, another 1,000 diamonds. That should give us enough for almost another full summon right there. So pretty cool. That's a pretty good pack to pick up right there. Let's see if we can get these for HK and get this done. Now again, we have 30 cards, so a little over 30 summons. Could we do it? If not, we're gonna have to pick up a couple more in there. So first one, just some resources. And we also have some stones. I know we picked up quite a few stones joining the Heroes of Espria, and there's one. Yeah, 10 time emblems. I love seeing that soul. But there is our first copy. So that was 30 cards, got our first copy. Maybe, I wonder the chances of pulling this. I know it's incredibly, incredibly slim, but we have seen it in the past that we get another copy out of here. And a lot of people just say it's streamer's luck, but sometimes we do see it in here as well. And of course, with Valkyrie, is we're going to have the ability to actually engrave. So I'm going to pick up that other pack. Yeah, exactly, Brian. That's what I hear from everybody. It is actually the streamer's luck. So let's go ahead and pick this one up as well. And there we go. So we're good. We are good with that. That's all we're putting in. The 50 plus the diamonds there should yield us, but it also does give us 50 of these tokens. Now, for a majority of whales, if you're looking to pump money into AFK Arena, most of them spend it here. This is one of the places because, again, you have the big RNG factor of getting these wishes and pulling something extra like that right there. That's what we're looking for, another 10. So that guarantees us pretty much that second copy that we're going to get. Got some common right there, some more Poe coins, and then, of course, another 1,000 diamonds on top of what we already got. That should be enough to give us exactly what we need. And look at that. Big shout out to Scar. Pulled the 30 Gs. I love seeing the 30,000 diamonds on there. But let's do a couple more summons in here and see how many it's going to take to pull that additional copy out of here. That's what, 1, 2, 3, 4 gives us, again, just some more resources. Number 5 is a double. So we get 2 copies. I figured it was going to happen like that. We've seen this with the Awakened version of Athalia. We've seen it with a lot of different heroes that we actually pull the last copy, and the last copy is usually a double copy, like we've seen right there. So that is some really, really good luck. Let's pop open these chests, get some resources out of here, try to gain some more levels, which again is going to make a big difference as we're pushing through, picking up some more red chests in there. We got some more time emblems, some more red chests. Again, Heroes of Espria chests, 10 more red chests right there. Engraving mats, and of course we're going to have to engrave Valkyrie, and we also need to get some more furniture in there. Yeah, been quite a while for me as well. Now, of course, look, double Kelthar in there. It's been a while since I pulled the diamonds. Honestly, it has been a considerable amount of time since we have pulled, but that actually brings us up to 201 of our time emblems because, of course, Lucius was just wicked lucky as could be. We'll add a couple more levels right there onto our Elder Tree. We'll go ahead and throw that extra level with the engraving onto Valkyrie. And there we go. Just some recycles right there. Yeah, Valkyrie 3 stars. That would be kind of crazy. Yeah, it seems like, yeah, they definitely do that, Amir. I've seen it quite a few times that I've done the summons, and the very last copy that I need is the last copy that they double, that I actually get. I've gotten 2 or 3 that we have seen them kind of doubled at that point. But Valkyrie, of course, like I was saying earlier, PvP-wise, Valkyrie is a combination or a counter for that awakened version of Shamira just based on her skills and abilities. So we will go ahead and we will build her up a little bit further. We'll throw some engraving on there, which I don't have enough to take her to a 60. But again, damage-wise, we're going to get her there. So because 60, when triggering additional damage, inflicts 1 challenge on the targeted enemy. If they already have a challenge, they are stunned. Crowd control, of course, in PvP is huge. I'm going to add these ones on just to get some more damage out of her. Crit damage amplification going to 20, which is kind of crazy. We'll buff, I believe, this top one up as well. Crit damage amplification. So when you think of, I mean, we're adding in here crit accuracy, crit damage amplification, accuracy, crit damage amplification. You can really scale her damage a lot. And then you throw in the attack rate here, adding another 16% of attack. Very, very big hero to build. Now, of course, we did go in here. We built out all the tier 4 in there. That way we can kind of max her out. We'll have to build out probably a collection for her. And again, some of these we got pretty lucky. Even looking this is the double skill. Now, this is one that I intentionally built because you can see even the attack rating. I mean, 7, 14, 15, almost 16% attack, which is huge on Judgment Armor for that one. What's going on, Bozak? Thanks for joining us for our last late minute live stream. But yeah, we'll see if we can get that last piece for Lucius. I think we're only 1 away from giving him that 9 of 9 furniture, which right there, we have 8. So we need 2 more summons. Ooh, we should be able to get it. We should be able to. If not, we're going to be super, super, super close to Poke Coins for what we're cycling right there. I don't even think we're going to have anything. Oh, we're not going to have enough. We're going to be short. We are short what? 200 Poke Coins. Yikes, that is pretty close. I don't think I should have waited to pop open those chests. Let's see if we can actually just run a circle in here and get anything back. But we're going to take that to 200 across the board. Then I'm going to go in here. Let's go for Warriors. 201 is the cap that I have right now. But let's see. I think we can pick up some Poke Coins somewhere. Hopefully, could have used my chest for Poke Coins just to get those extra 200. But that's okay. I'm okay with it. But let's see. I think we can get some maybe out of the daily. I don't think it gives us Poke Coins, does it? No, it does not. Now, weeklies have always been done as we go through there. Labyrinth, did we already sweep it? Which we didn't. We could go through and do some in there. I don't think Temple Rift either. Yeah, the shop. There we go. We could refresh the shop. Thank you for bringing that. Wasn't even thinking of the shop. I don't think we bought anything out of the shop. Get our extra 250. There it is. Big shout out to Ariel for bringing that up. Yeah, I didn't even think of the shop, but that is going to give us 3,000. So ding, we did it. There is our 1 red card. It's going to be a mythic. Watch it be Lucius. It is awakened version of Athelia. That's okay, building it out, but that will take him to a 9 of 9. Another hero that is built. Honestly, looking at the heroes that we have, I might just leave them in there for the fact that we're continuing to build them out. Damage dealers, that will work incredibly well. We have Aethys in there. We have Valkyrie in there. We also have Vika in there, moving them to the 9 of 9. Now, we already have over the 9 of 9 right here for Eugene. And then, of course, here, I believe, again, we have ones. Those are all maxed for the damage. We're just going to continue maxing out all of the furniture on these heroes. I mean, until we get them fully maxed in their entirety. But that brings us to an incredible amount of... I mean, we're almost at 8,000 when it comes to those with the mythic furniture in here. We're almost at 1,000 mythic furniture, which is kind of crazy to think that we have that many heroes built out. But Valkyrie definitely got a big bump in there when it comes to PvP and also when it comes to the build. Now, out of the current event right here, again, a lot of players went in baits. I know there were a lot of debates when it came to looking at the builds and looking at the players, what they were building over on Discord, Reddit, a couple other places. A lot of players are still building baits. Now, my recommendation, once you get your beast up to 12, you probably want to take a few beasts up to higher than 12. But overall, I am buying the red chest out of here, and we're going to continue buying those red chests again in their entirety because we're trying to get to the point where we can actually go in here and build out all of the heroes we need. We're working at 2 heroes at a time. So right now, the awakened version of Lucius, we're doing the exact same. We're using the red chest based on the build to build them up. Boom. Right there is our 35. And then we're also building out. So Shamira we finished, but the awakened version of Leica was at 35. She's at 38 right here. Again, just using these chests, waiting until we get more. We're building them all out. Little by little, we are getting them built. Once we hit the 40 right there, then we'll continue moving the awakened version of Lucius to that 40. And then we're just going to keep moving through the other heroes. Going to be interesting to see, again, if it is a double dimensional hero drop. We should have the patch notes tomorrow. Again, looking at the picture of both of those heroes, the patch notes should be up tomorrow for them on the test server. If not, sometimes it's a little bit off when it comes to the patch notes, just based on them being a dimensional hero. They don't follow exactly what we had. Oh, there's 6,000. We should have thought about that one. We really didn't think about that one. Feels so good to have Beasts at 18. Absolutely, Trisha. I 1000% agree with you. Since I have taken all of my Beasts up to 18, I don't even worry about it anymore. I don't even really look at it a lot of time. And look at that. So that's another, what, 9,000 Pokecoins we just got out of there, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, once you get your Beast up to 18, which is where we got them, I don't really take a lot of time or effort to really do any of the summons anymore because they're at 18. I came in here last time, I think, on our live stream. We had about 1,600 baits in here, which is crazy. I wish my pets were 18. It takes a long time. There is a long time and a lot of dedicated. If you guys remember, when I was building out the Beasts, even on this account, I went through and I built out and I literally focused everything. Every event was baits. Everywhere that I could get baits, every chest that I got out of different game modes, I bought baits. I literally went all in for baits in their entirety, through everywhere in every place that we could get the baits, making a really, really big difference building them out. Now, I'm also wondering if we can get lucky with some of the scrolls within the wishing ship. We know we have 2 draws right here. So number 1, could we get our furniture? It is 1,000 diamonds. And our second one, could it be the furniture? It is diamonds again. So another 1,500 diamonds in there. This one is usually the very last one you pull. Almost every single time that I've done this. Again, this is usually the very, very last one, which I figured is kind of by design with how Lilith has it. I guess the next Misty Valley main target will be baits. And that's it. And that's exactly what I did, Uno. When I started going through the Misty Valley, when we started going through a lot of different game modes, we did exactly that. Everything was focused in its entirety, going and building them out. Now, you also notice in here, the treasure scramble, we are at 47. This is really based on the heroes that we continue to build. As we're building up the engraving a little bit higher, as we're building up the signature items a little bit higher, as we're really focusing on and developing a lot of these heroes, it's been going incredibly well in here just with the heroes that we've been building based on where we have them. I feel like to be competitive in AFK Arena, it's really what it takes to make some more progression. But let's go in here, let's farm a couple more times. And I'm thinking we're going to have to change this formation as well because we're probably going to get farmed right back on this one. But again, we have our 3 team right here. This, of course, once you make a little bit more progression, this will actually go to your 5 team. And then it goes to, I believe, a 7 team when you get a little bit further. And then I think when you're in the very top, it stays at 7, or maybe it's 9. It might be 7 or 9 when you get a little bit further in there. Lady Simona grabbed the plus 60. Yeah, I need resources. Absolutely. And again, it's really big, Ariel, for the PvP aspect. I know there's a lot of heroes, and I don't really focus on PvP a lot. But I know when it comes to a lot of specific heroes, if you really want a ton of effectiveness in PvP, you're going to have to build them out. I have her at, I believe, 30, just like a lot of them. Now, we're trying to get these resource chests out of here. Again, focusing on building up these red chests. I wonder if they added any of the new chests. I was just kind of thinking about that. If we got, see, there's baits right there, which of course is pretty good to see. Got some baits, got some resource chests, but they didn't add the new chests. Because even here, season rewards, we don't have the ability to get any of the new chests in here. So that kind of stinks that you know, it's still pretty limited to where we can get those new chests. Finally caught a live stream, pulled the trigger. What is going on? Thank you for joining us for our late last minute live stream. Again, we were just kind of going through here. I want to burn through my tickets and make sure, again, when you're coming into the Heroes of Espria, that you're pushing at a minimum 3 times a day. but you want to make some progression. You want to try to move up here. Picking up these chests are going to help you with progression. And honestly, the earlier that you're moving up in the ranks, the easier I feel it's going to be in the long term. I know there's going to be some whales that are going to farm players that are going to move them down a little bit, but overall, moving up at least to a pretty solid tier, because what has happened to a lot of players, Punkachu, it almost looks like it's Pikachu, but you can see kind of some of the very, very cool frames in there. Probably very high level, 325 to 325. You know what? Here it looks like a little bit of an older build. I'm thinking, yeah, this is literally the same teams I was running. Right there's the Matria comp that I was running. There's the Alnarem. I'm going to see if we can beat this one. And again, it looks like they probably haven't gotten in here and changed up the levels on here yet, just based on where they're at. There we go. So very easy to get through there. But again, that's a pretty considerable amount of points to get gold, which of course, I'm hoping, and this is one thing I know that a lot of you have kind of stressed, I am hoping in the store that they give us the ability to actually buy a lot more stuff with gold. So there comes a point of AFK Arena where gold is pretty worthless. So literally probably doing refreshes in here to buy some more of our Pokecoins, but getting some essence out of there. There really comes a time where we need to get more stuff with gold, because as you can see, we're at what, 9 billion gold. That it really doesn't make a big difference. Yeah, Lady Simona, yes, I've seen her used quite a bit, and especially running with the Awakened version of Chimera. So that's a combination that I've seen quite a bit. Also want to get, I'm thinking the 40 on a couple different heroes. I think I did a min-max on her. I think it took, no, only 30. So again, we're going to have to wait until we get it built out a little bit further with Melkery. I'm going to have to save. We're going to save our resources till we do build out Melkery a little bit further. Because again, PvP-wise, I want to take Melkery to the 60. So we do have the ability to do the stun in there. Again, just building these out, especially tenacity, makes a big difference. We'll go through and we'll build these out over the next probably week, 2 weeks. We'll have enough resources to get her actually built up to the 60. Again, PvP-wise, add some more furniture on there, continue to build all of the rest of the furniture. I'm at Diamond 1 on the test server, and it's still 5 teams. Yeah, it goes to, I believe, 7. Lady Simona, Ivan, Chimera, yes. That is a really, really strong team. That's why we see, because of course, energy disintegration. So you're going to have Ivan that actually blocks out Chimera, energy disintegration. Lady Simona, I feel like is a hero that when we got her, Ariel, it was very, very, very negative. A lot of players didn't like Lady Simona. And now she's at the point where I'm almost thinking that she's probably going to be in the S tier. She's going to be probably one of the absolute top tiers because of that combination of the Awakened version of Chimera. When an enemy is within range of the Phantom Bell, any shields they have will be destroyed. When you think of PvP, guys, that is probably one of the absolute biggest things. When you think of the Awakened version of Brutus, when you think of Lucius, when you think of a lot of heroes that have that shielding aspect, this is going to go ahead and crush those shields. Resonators cannot gain a shield while in the range of the Phantom Bell. So again, going to make a really big difference in there. Then you go in here, after taking AoE damage from her, the magical resistance. So not only are we removing the shields from the enemies themselves, but it is also reducing the magical resistance, meaning that your magical dealers like Chimera are going to do a lot more damage. And then, of course, Chimera is going to be buffed by Ivan, which again can further kind of cycle that through there, which is awesome. Yeah, and that's it. So that's where a lot of players, I feel like, don't know or don't get it, kind of right off the bat. Lady Simona with Trichia, yeah, I've also seen them run quite a bit, and some players have run them with the instant crowd control of Amelia. I've seen it, but overall, again, energy disintegration is huge within that combination, and it's nice how they kind of made them in sync with each other, that they're all kind of intermingled and working together, which is pretty interesting because of the methodology with Chimera and how she works. Then, of course, Leica. I know there was a comment in there. Is Awakened Belinda a safe choice? Bruno, I like it, and I built the Awakened version of Belinda just because she is still used in a lot of different places. Don't know, how many months or years that she's going to be used, just being an older Awakened hero. But overall, not seeing, you know, as much utility as we used to see with her, but still, when it comes to a lot of different game modes, when it comes to pumping out an incredible amount of damage very, very fast, she does a very good job in there. Even looking, it's interesting with the original version of Chillin still in there, Athalia, which I do still love Athalia. But again, in here, looking at Crescio. Crescio is another one. Scarlet, when you think of burst damage, Scarlet is huge. And also, you have to remember, this game mode specifically, you only have one target. So when Scarlet is doing 20 of her little bolts, they are all going to one target with RNG, which of course is huge. Baden is just bugged broken. If you don't have the original version of Baden, it's kind of crazy to see how this works, especially kind of based on the build. And you can see there's a pretty big build bit on Baden, but overall it is the boss. That is the big thing in the combination of using it for the boss. And then, of course, like it in this last one, again, just kind of based on the boss and the rotation that we're seeing in here, it's going to really make a big difference. Yeah, no interest, but later is good. Yeah, that's it. So when she came out, Ariel, nobody wanted to use her at all. What's going on, Ben? Thanks for joining us for the stream. So going through here, like I said, with all of these haven't been changed since release, guys. These are 5 years. So what I put up and what I thought, put some comments over on Discord about how awesome would it be at a 5-year anniversary for AFK Arena, they release 2 new guild bosses. I think that would be just so fire in here to release them at the exact same time, both of them within the guild hunt. I think it would be cool. I think it would be really cool to see, as much as they focus on so many different aspects of rotating all the bosses in the Cursed Realm, the Nightmare Corridor, everywhere else. I would love to see it. And as you can see, look at this. 1,141 trillion damage. That's right. It's a T that is in there. It's crazy. It's crazy to see. And again, just the methodology of how they work. Did you push the Heroes of Espria? We did a little bit, Matt. So we did make a little bit of progression in there. We used, I believe, almost all of our cards. We were moving up a little bit. Love your videos. They're super helpful. Oh, thank you, Ben. Yeah, it would be nice. Yeah, I would love it if they updated it, if they gave us better rewards out of there. It could be a way for them to give us a lot more of those chests in there, getting some of those epic chests out of there, or even putting in red chests. I mean, shoot, even if they went in there and they changed it up a little bit. Yeah, I think we used all of our tickets. I don't want to use, or I don't want to spend any to kind of buy the tickets. We'll spend 10 diamonds out of here. But again, a lot of players have one in here every single day. Just go in here, make your progression, burn through all of your tickets. No reason to really buy the tickets until you're right towards the very end. If you're getting to really the final days of the Heroes of Espria, I really, really stress push for Masters. It is very important for the loot that you're going to get out of there. Push for Masters, for the chests, for the progression. Push this as far as you can, just based on the build. Because again, the loot you're going to get in there is huge. Is Thorin's signature item 40 worth it? No, Matt. It is not. The thing is, fundamentally, Thorin will work without the 40 signature item. There's not a need for it because, again, the retaliation aspect that he has works. There's really no reason. Is the Mystic Star Zone coming back? Yes. So the Mystic Star Zone Primo runs in 3 phases. So this was the first phase of the 3 phases like we've normally seen. So we're still going to have 2 more phases of the Mystic Star Zone. And then you'll go through there. Can I see your Athalia build? I don't know if I want to change to old artifacts for the new one. I think you mean, I don't know if you mean Athalia or the tank. Yeah, the Thorn is, there you go. Thorn 40 is bad. I don't see any reason for it. I really don't see the logic at all building out the 40, which I think, oh, I was going to say, I thought we went to 5 teams in here. But I think you mean the Wilder tank. So here, I even built out a little bit, if that's who you mean, because I don't know if it's Athalia. My Athalia build, the Athalia build is built up pretty high. So I have the 40. We have 80 engraving on her, and we have, I think, like 18 or 20 plus pieces of furniture on her, if you're talking about Athalia. Now in here, of course, depending on how you're playing this, it can be kind of different. So looking at this one, hero directly opposed to the holder joins the battle late. So using kind of Zolras ability in there, which makes a big difference. Full time the holder receives fatal damage. This is big too. Again, when you think of the Heroes of Espria, when you look at the PvP aspect, you could go to run in here with a very, very strong relic that is going to do an incredible amount of damage, or you can go with the survivability aspect of running something with Zolrath. It's really dependent on the teams that you're running in there that will work. Can you show me the Heroes of Espria comps? Yeah, we actually copied one a little bit earlier, but they're pretty well-built comps, including Lucius, which was kind of the build. So right here, we'll run through them, and I think this is probably going to be around my level. But here we have, and this again, when you look, and I know Ariel loves this one, this is probably one of the strongest combinations that we see because, of course, you have the Awakened version of Chimera that is playing off of Lady Simona, that is playing off of Ivan, and then you have Lucilla in here, which is incredibly difficult to kill. If you do kill her, she's going to come back. You have Liberta in the back, who is doing a truckload of damage as always with the seal up here. And then, of course, the combination of these two together, running Liberta with Lucilla, is the way that they are really meant to be played overall. Now, this one, of course, we have the shielding aspect. So we're going to have the shield because we do have the Awakened version of Lucius, which is going to buff and shield. And again, looking at this one, depending on who you're fighting, because essentially, if this combination was running Lady Simona, knowing the shielding aspect here, this is where you kind of have to play it to where we could look at here and shift this into a different formation or a different slot based on who we're building or who we're fighting in formations. You have to be cognizant. You have to pay attention to the teams that you're fighting and how you're going to build them, depending on who you're fighting, honestly. Then, of course, we have Jerome in here, which is going to buff up everybody in here. And we have crowd control up here from our Ice Crown. And then the final one, we do have Rem. Rem is just super strong, especially coming in here with the delayed from Leica coming in with this back row, means that with Ulna Rem, they're not going to be able to kill Rem. Rem is just an absolute damage machine as we know it. And also they're going to have a big damage mitigation in this front line because of Ulna's ability to actually bring them in. And it works just absolutely perfect. And again, Lady Simona in here, Ivan shields up right there, actually shielding up Liberta right here in the back. And then little by little, we just kind of work them. First, Liberta, Demia, Chimera, Athalia, and Leica. Yes, that's pretty much spot on. So even looking, Ariel, at your list, Liberta, I have built. Chimera, we took to 40. Athalia, we took to 40. Leica, we're taking to 40. Rem is already at 40, so literally just the ones that you're looking at right there. I don't have Demia at a 40 yet, but I want to get there. With her, just going to have to see. Yeah, very late stream, Winnie. Thank you for joining us. Forgot, but it's a power sport. Yeah, Ivan is good at 40, but again, when you think big whale, sure, go ahead and push it all in. That'll make a really, really big difference. For a majority of players, looking at the very first list. So again, primary damage dealers in AFK Arena. We have Liberta, we have Athalia, we have Rem, very, very strong high damage dealers. Building them out a little bit further is going to be beneficial just based on the amount of damage. So when you're bringing up higher percentages, when you're building it out for much stronger heroes, the percentage of the Elder Tree plus the signature item plus the percentages from the collections, then you add on the engraving, there is just levels and layers and layers and layers on top of how strong these heroes have gotten into AFK Arena, which again is kind of crazy to think, but yeah, they have gotten so insanely strong, not only with the power creep mechanic, but just for the build out themselves. Tomorrow's level 12 pets. Congratulations. That is a big, big achievement. So what I did, Ariel, is once I got to those level 12 pets, I moved specific pets up to 18. But if you're moving them all systematically, you can. Does Naruko buff more than just attack? It doesn't specify. I believe it is just attack. If I remember correctly, let's take a quick look at Naruko and see exactly what. So here, the attack rating, attributes are increased by 8% of the attack rating. Now it says attributes. It doesn't say that it is specifically based on attack rating, Unless it says up here, each time she grows, she permanently increases her ally's attack rating. 2% attributes, 2% of the attack rating. So it is attributes. It doesn't say specifically attack rating. So you're getting a pretty big buff out of her. Even there, defense rating goes down, but attributes are increased by 8% of her attack rating. So yeah, the attack rating that she has, that's exactly what it is. Fighting level 15 beast. It's tough. It is absolutely. Do you know if the signature item is important for Jerome? So Jerome is one that is this one, when casting Captain of the Winds, the allied hero with the highest grade will receive an instant grade increase. Yes, that is a huge upgrade, Travesty, because remember, the faster that you can upgrade these heroes, especially if you're running in, a combination with Lucius, if you're running with the Awakened version of Belinda, the faster that you can upgrade the Captain of the Winds, you're going to want to upgrade as fast as possible just based on the abilities that we have here. You want to build them up as fast as possible. So if you have the evaluation, and I forget where it lists, maybe I just have to space it out. There we go. So essentially, you're trying to get the heroes up to the very, very top tier as fast as possible, meaning that with the signature item itself, when casting Captain of the Wind, so when he ults, the ally with the highest grade will receive an instant upgrade. Majority of the time, that is going to be your highest damage dealing hero, which of course is going to be usually in that instance is going to be the Awakened version of Belinda, depending on who he's running with. That's going to make a big difference on how fast he is going to upgrade these. And then, of course, when Lightbearer heroes fight alongside Jerome, which we are running Jerome with the Awakened version of Lucius, the buff values are increased by 30%. That is right. So not only are you going to be leveling them up really fast, and also remember that with Lucius, the more you build him defense-wise, the more it is going to build him. And again, kind of adding on the stats, but the more you build him defense-wise, the stronger he's going to get through the SP effect right here, allowing him to really maximize that damage. How much time would it take to get to the Resonating Crystal 18 Beasts? It depends how much you focus on Adia. So the way that I do it, before we conclude here on the live stream, but the way that I've done it in the past is I usually buy one thing out of the shop. For a majority of time, I was buying out those arcane staffs, which I probably should start doing it again. But we wanted to get Lucius and we wanted to get Valkyrie. It depends again. So out of here, I was buying the baits every single day. So again, when you're adding eight baits a day, okay, you're getting 8 over 10 days, you're adding another 80 baits. But now when you kind of extrapolate that over an entire month of buying them, makes a big difference. Then I went into the Misty Valley. I pulled baits. All of the events that I went into, I bought the baits. I literally focused everything into baits in their entirety. Every chest I got from the Temple Rift, everywhere that I could pick up baits, literally anywhere, I went in here and I picked up all the baits that I could through all of the game modes that I could, period. I picked up everything that I could just to really make the level 18 beast much faster. Did take a considerable amount of time, but we did get them there when it comes to the 18 beast, which was good. How to use the Resident Current in the Temple Rift. So that only goes to a very, very high level. So with the majority of players, when you look at these, the crystalline cores, it starts at level 100, which again is going to be, for a majority of players, are going to be very, very huge whale territory. Is when you do get these, and I'm not sure at what level it does it now, but there's a point where you do use these instead of essence. Once you get to a certain point in here, it will start taking those cores versus the essence to level them up further. 8 baits for 320. It's not really a ripoff if you're trying to level up the beasts. And that's it. So you have to think, and again, I've kind of focused on what I was building. So when I had a lot of heroes that needed engraving, going in here, I started with our cores. We were buying the cores out every day. Then we started buying the baits out once we hit 18. Then we started buying the arcane staffs out. It's really the accumulation of the goods. When you're starting to build them, when you get to the point of having to really min-max or having to get a lot more of your legendary resources out of here, it's going to take a lot. And it's going to take a lot to get these staffs. It's going to take a lot to build them. And again, anywhere that you can get baits, any faster that you can do it without the detriment of not having diamonds to summons. That's really the tough kind of trade-off, is if you're spending a lot more money in here on diamonds to buy stuff out of the shop, you're going to be losing out on a lot of summons if you're spending them. How long did it take you? It took me about 3 months. So to max them all the way out to 18, it did take about 3 months, which again, we are talking 3 months of buying the baits out of here on a regular basis, getting the baits out of, a couple different places like the Treasure Scramble, but getting the baits out of everywhere that I could, including the Misty Valley, including, all of these thrilling voyages. Even when you look at the baits that you get out of these, I mean, over and over and over of going through all of these and picking up all of these from the Fantastic Beasts, anywhere I could get them. I literally focused on them, knowing the importance that I really overlooked the first time. I definitely went in there and just build them. They added the plus 40 now. It will take baits harder. Yeah, so Dia, that's one of the problems. So that's kind of something that they need to address, and they need to address kind of in a really bigger picture before we conclude here, is when you look at the resources that you're getting into AFK Arena, is you're limited to how much they're giving us in events, which means now we're a lot more focused on red chests. But before, red chests were it. You would come into an event like this, Lingering Aroma, or whatever event that it was in the past. If you played AFK Arena for a while, when you came into an event, you got red chests. That was it. Most every event that you came in, red chests were the option. Everybody came in here. Everybody pick up red chests. Then we got to the point where we started doing the engraving. Now it was a split between the red chests, and it was a split between the elemental cores. So once we started the engraving, when the beast came out, now it's a split between the red chests, and it's a split between the elemental cores, and it's a split between these baits. Now if they add in the epic chests, it's going to be now a further way split, which again, they're not giving us more resources a bunch across all of these game modes. We're usually still getting that same 420, but it is split a multitude of ways and continues to get split a multitude of ways. So either one of two things have to happen. Either they upgrade or they up the amount that we're getting out of here, or giving us more resources, or lowering the cost. I mean, that's really the way to do it, where instead of getting, let's say, 100 cores out of here, they up this to 200. Instead of getting 50 baits, they up this to 100. 20 chests go to 40 chests, giving us the same resources, but now the ability to actually get a lot more resources with the things that they're essentially doing in here. And also looking at the calendar, there's so much in here, guys. It is literally overrun with so much content that we never had before in AFK Arena. It's honestly, to me, it's insane with how much we have going on and how many events are now just on repeat that we never did have before. Yeah, and that's it. So if you haven't been playing, if you haven't been accumulating all of those red chests and everything, then yes, it's definitely hard. Who do I think the next mauler? I'm still saying with Trisha. This one, we're really talking about Namisu. I want to see Namisu. I want him to stay a support hero. If not, we could possibly do mage with him, but I want him to be the awakened hero as Namisu. Of course, one of the original heroes, but I also want to see him have a lot of viability, kind of utility with some other factions. But he is the one that I want to see, which I think would be absolutely amazing to see, because again, he carried so much for so long. Poor little guy, his totems. I really want to see him keep the totems and make Namisu viable. But all right, guys, so that is going to do it for tonight's live stream. Again, I know we were kind of late, last minute. I feel a lot of congestion. I'm sure you probably hear it in my voice, but definitely wanted to come in here, wanted to get through some of the heroes of Espria. Continue to build out the heroes. That's really the biggest thing when it comes to AFK Arena, is prioritizing the heroes that do have really and take the most precedence, that have the most utility within a bunch of different game modes. Maulers need support, yes. But essentially, they could do a lot of Mauler support with it not really being support. So even when you look here, you can make Namisu a mage support like this, where when you look at this Miko, Lady Demia, I mean, short of being right down here in a mage, There's not really much that really tells me she is a mage. Majority of things that she does with the buffer, with the auras and everything, are kind of the build out of our mage support. And we've seen this with an incredible amount of heroes, just looking kind of as the support aspect, not really full out mage, but they could definitely keep him as support as well. Yeah, the new beast is support. And I know a lot of players, I'm still waiting for Ciro's new guide. Big shout out to him and his YouTube channel to show us exactly where this new Ice Crown Beast does go. Now, in my opinion, it's going to be a #1 priority. We've seen it literally showing up everywhere. With the instant crowd control, you're almost getting a 5th hero like what we've seen coming in with the Slumbering Seal because of the crowd control that we are getting out of that hero. Get some vitamin C. Absolutely going to do that. I've been taking all my vitamins and everything. Definitely hope that I feel better tomorrow. I actually have a presentation at work, so it's going to be interesting. Hopefully they can hear me and understand me. But guys, that is going to do it for today's stream. Again, thank you for joining me for the very late night stream. Thank you for all the love and support for the channel. I see all of the little hippos that I love seeing pop up in the chat. It is very, very cool to see all the members of the channel. But again, thank you guys for joining me for the stream. We got a lot more content coming, and I think it's going to be double dim when we get the patch notes tomorrow over on the test server. So definitely be covering that early morning tomorrow. But again, that is going to do it for the stream. Thank you guys for joining me. And as always, thank you guys for watching.